Now for the month of July, we're going to continue learning about the word faith. And faith is trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. A few years ago, I went on a trip to Six Flags with my sister, and I love theme parks and I love roller coasters. I just love the thrill that your body experiences going at such a high speed. And so I remember I was waiting in line for my favorite ride, which is El Toro, and I was waiting in expectation. And as I inched closer to the front, I was getting excited, I was getting pumped because I knew that this ride would be so exhilarating. And then all of a sudden, the loudspeaker comes on and they make an announcement that the ride is shut down. No! How could they shut down the ride? I waited so long and I anticipated so much for this ride. I was so upset and I was so disappointed. And that entire day didn't go as I planned. Have you ever been on a trip that didn't go as planned? Or even worse, that turned out to be disastrous? My trip that I just told you about didn't go according to my plan. The question that we had to ask ourselves is, how are we going to respond when moments like this happen to us? So in today's Bible story, which comes from Acts chapter 27, the Apostle Paul was on a journey towards Rome. Hold on, why was Paul on his way to Rome? Well, a group of religious leaders plotted to kill Paul, so he was sent to the governor of Caesarea. And from there, he was ordered to go to Rome so that he could stand trial before Caesar. Oh, I got it now. Thanks. So, in order to get to Rome, Paul was handed over to a Roman commander named Julius. And from there, they set out to sea for their journey towards Rome. And the sailing journey started to become dangerous, and Paul began to notice this, and he spoke to the men in charge saying that they would be in danger. But none of the people listened to Paul, and so they continued to sail towards Rome. And then there was a gentle wind that quickly turned into a hurricane. And so they were in a storm for a couple days, and by the third day, the men and the crew and all the passengers began to throw all their cargo overboard, and it was at that point that they didn't believe that they would survive the storm. But in the midst of all the chaos, God sent an angel to Paul. And so the very next day, Paul told all the passengers, all 276 people on the ship, and this is what Paul told them. Last night, an angel of the God to whom I belong and whom I serve stood beside me and said, "Do not be afraid, Paul. You must stand trial before Caesar, and God has graciously given you the lives of all who sail with you. So keep up your courage, men, for I have faith in God that it will happen just as he told me." Paul told everyone to be brave and to be courageous, and he reassured them that they would survive this storm. And on the 14th night of the storm, yeah, that's right, not just one, not two, not three, but on the 14th night of the storm, the ship's crew began to see some land right in front of them. The ship's crew were so afraid that they would crash against the rocks that they started to plan an escape. But Paul spoke to all the men and he told them that they had to stay in the ship. And so this is what they did. They actually let all the lifeboats drift away from the ship. So you can imagine how everyone is feeling at this moment. All the lifeboats are gone and they're so close to becoming shipwrecked. And just before dawn, Paul spoke to everyone again and he encouraged them, and this is what he said. Just before dawn, Paul tried to get them all to eat. "For the last 14 days, he said, you have wondered what would happen. You have gone without food. You haven't eaten anything. Now I am asking you to eat some food. You need it to live. Not one of you will lose a single hair from your head." After Paul said this, he took some bread and gave thanks to God. He did this where they all could see him. Then he broke it again and he began to eat. All of them were filled with hope, so they ate some food. The next day, they saw land nearby, and so they decided to run the ship onto the beach. But as they were doing that, they hit a sandbar underneath the water, and the ship began to break apart. And so everyone jumped off board, and they swam onto shore. And here's the good thing. Even though the ship was shipwrecked, everyone got to land safely. All 276 people. They arrived on an island called Malta, and from there, they were able to reach their final destination, which was Rome. That was a pretty crazy and thrilling story, right? Paul's journey to Rome was filled with a lot of danger, a lot of uncertainty, and he definitely didn't plan on getting shipwrecked. And a lot of people on ship were terrified that they were going to die in the storm. But in that moment, Paul encouraged them, and he was a beacon of hope in those chaotic moments. And boys and girls, there's going to be moments in my life and in your life when things don't go according to our plan. And there will be many moments when we're going to be scared and terrified for our lives. But when we put our faith and trust in Jesus Christ, we will have hope and we will be encouraged. And so if there's anything that you remember from today, I hope that you would remember our bottom line, and that is knowing Jesus gives us hope. Okay, boys and girls, before we close in prayer, let's end with a memory verse, and it comes from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, and it says this: "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God." And with that said, Pastor Tim out. Wait, what is this? Am I Olaf? Oh my gosh, why am I Olaf?
Do you want to build a snowman?
No, I don't want to build a snowman. I'm already a snowman.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Okay, so how do I get out of this? Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. Hand sanitizer. My gosh, this is so embarrassing. I mean, last time I was a penguin. Now this time I'm Olaf. My gosh. Okay, here we go. It should work this time. Pastor Tim out.